Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It's going to be an organizing and probably a brush declutter video. I thought I would sit down and do a brief intro with you guys before I kind of take you along to the things that I want to do in today's video. I have a filming setup that's a little bit dirty. I need to get these brushes organized and cleaned and honestly get some of these just decluttered. I have drawers full of them. So I thought that would be fun to film this with you guys. So I'm gonna set the camera up and show you what we're working with. Okay guys, this is the magic behind the scenes. This is where I film. I'm cluttering stuff everywhere, but also I want to turn this around because I used to film my back to the window. I thought I wanted something different in the background. I really just don't like having kind of nothing in the background. So I want to flip my chair around, flip this equipment to the other side. This I bought to cover this Home Depot table, and look how filthy it is. I literally have not washed this since I got it. There's all the disgusting brushes I'm just piling in a corner. Here's an extra table I use for filming, products that need to go away. Got stuff up here that needs to go places. This chair I'll move and probably, I'm trying to go slowly so I don't make you dizzy, move that little thing back to this little section where it was originally. I need to clean up this stuff here. And then finally, I need to go through all of these disgusting brushes. There's so many that I don't use, that I don't even like. I need to get rid of. Plus I have drawers full of brushes. These are just some. I have more in that white drawer unit that I was saying I want to move where that chair is. So I need to like refresh the brushes and then just get rid of the ones that I don't want. So that's what's on today's agenda, you guys. Let's get started. okay, I'm actually really excited I did that in a pretty short period of time. It didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to. Here are all of my brushes and sponges. So you guys can see like all the stuff that I'm like currently working with is right here. Plus these things that really need to be washed. I haven't washed since I bought them, which was months ago. So they need to be rinsed out. And all the sponges, I'm thinking I don't love every one of these sponges. Ones that are harder like this, I will keep for applying cream blush. That's what I like these for, but I want to separate them. I want like the cream blush ones only to be in a different bin. I want the ones that I'm going to use for foundation in a different one so that I'm not like searching for these and always going to the wrong ones. And I've already started the basket here of all the stuff that's dirty. Brushes, sponges, I think everything in here is dirty. Maybe not this brush. Actually, I think I just stuck a couple in here that were just like sitting randomly on my filming station. And then these ones here, a bunch of them need to come out that need to be cleaned, but also I want to go through and decide which ones I don't want. I didn't pull anything out of the drawer behind me. I just pulled everything out of that white rolling cabinet that you guys saw me pull it out of. So I think I'm going to change the angle here a little bit, kind of a side angle, move some of the stuff off and then go through and organize it. So let's get started. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna keep the camera where it is, and I think I'll just pull these out and kind of lay them down on the table. I want to take this stuff out because I want brushes and sponges separately. Most of what's in here I like to apply my foundation with. These e.l.f. Total Face sponges are my absolute favorite sponges. They're the most squishy and affordable. I also like the Sonia Kashuk ones that you can get at Target for applying foundation. This one from Real Techniques is like the softest thing ever. I love how airbrushed it makes the foundation look, so I want to keep this in here. These Sonia Kashuk ones from Target are great for concealer, and same thing here. This is like weird rubbery, so these ones I totally would not use for foundation. This one I probably would. I like these Real Techniques ones for foundation. They're just not greatest though. They're a little bit hard. I honestly need more foundation sponges because I go through those too fast. I honestly don't think I would use this one for foundation. I think I would use the Lunar Beauty one though. Okay, I think that's it. These ones I purchased from probably TJ Maxx or Marshalls with the intention of using them for cream blushes. I've probably done that with some of these other ones. These are just basically stained at this point. I do want to use these ones for foundation. These are really it. I have a bunch of dirty sponges from my drawer right now that need to come out, so I'm going to take these out and set them aside. And I'm going to pull out a couple more. Oh man, those brushes were shedding for foundation to put them in my like everyday makeup area. And this one's a hard little guy. I have no purpose for this, so I'm gonna declutter this one. The next thing that I want to do is go through the stuff that I keep on my everyday makeup area and flush these out. This is supposed to be blushes and bronzers, but I've mixed a bunch of stuff in here, I'm pretty sure. Like this is foundation to be cleaned. I think this one is fine. I use this one for super random things. BK Beauty 105. I'm pretty sure this is like a powder brush, but I don't really love it for powder. I don't think it's super dirty yet, so I'm gonna set it back. I have to admit, the Real Techniques 400 brush, I genuinely like don't love brushes like this. I'm still gonna hold on to it. Bronzer. Oh, and by the way, this is the e.l.f. Cream and Powder Face Brush. This came out with the new CC cream, the one that's supposed to be like luminous or radiant or whatever they're calling it, and then the cream blushes. So I think this is the cream blush side and the foundation side, and that is what I used it for, but I need to wash it. This is the liquid blush brush. Actually, this one might have come out with the camo liquid blushes from e.l.f. It needs to be cleaned. The Patrick Ta like contour brush, cleaned. I still love it. Flower Beauty, who knows what brush this is. I use this for bronzer all the time. Cleaned. The Believe Beauty brush, I use this for bronzer. This is a who knows what, an unnamed brush. That makes sense. This was cream blush. My favorite affordable brush, the Wet n Wild who knows what brush. I love this for cream blush, like potted blushes usually. I don't think this one is totally dirty yet. This is the LA Colors Nothing brush. I think I was doing bronzer on one side and blush over here. I'm gonna put that back. Yeah, I think I was using foundation with the IT Cosmetics Airbrush Blurring Foundation number 101. I love this Eco Tools one for the purposes of buffing in a cream blush, cream or liquid. I'm gonna keep it out. This is a Kaleidos brush that came out with the mono blushes. I think I bought the whole set, so I got this. I love this because it's really soft. It's just not a style I use. Like, I don't typically apply my blushes like this. I don't know, I'm gonna hold on to it. Some of these Sigma brushes honestly were a little bit of a disappointment. This is the HD Bronze brush F29. I don't love like how huge this is. Like 90% of these bristles are useless for me, and I very rarely find myself like putting bronzer like all over. It's usually pretty unusual, but I'm still gonna hold on to it. This one I'm gonna declutter. I hate this brush. It's so stippled and weird. It's the Sigma Contour / Blush Brush F53 Air. It just doesn't do a good job. It just applies the products unevenly. I'm gonna get rid of it. I also don't really like this one, the Sigma Powder Sculpt. This is great, I think, for like under the eyes, but I always use my puffy for that. So I was trying to use it with bronzer and I don't like it. This one I use for foundation. It's the Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. It's the 200, it needs to be cleaned. This one I use for liquid blush or foundation. In this case, the last time I used it was for liquid blush. It's a buffing foundation brush from e.l.f. This Japanesque one, I really like. I got it off of Amazon. It's the 962 brush. I use this for foundation and or blush all the time. But all of these need to be cleaned. These are getting decluttered. Let's go through these brushes that I had in that bin that had all of those sponges. So I have the buffing foundation brush from e.l.f. I want to see which ones I can move in for blush for every day. I've used this for cream blush because I've run out of brushes, but this is more a foundation brush. It's just stained. So I'm going to pull that in. I'm going to pull both of these in for my blush brushes. The IT Cosmetics number 227 Flawless Blush. One of my favorite blush brushes. Again, the unnamed one that came from a set. I'm gonna use it for blush. Do I even like this? Would this be good for cream blush? I'll pull it in and I can test it out. Ooh, I hate this. I hate this. What would I use this for? I'll try this with like bronzer. Oh, I have makeup on. I think I'll do one more for cream that isn't powder, blush, and then I'll pull this in for foundation. It's a foundation brush from Reed Cosmetics. And this one can stay in the drawer. And this is all I need for my everyday makeup. So this one is done. I'm gonna put it aside. These are all the eye brushes I use near my everyday makeup station. Most of these are like super dirty and really need to be cleaned. Let me pull out all my Rephr. All right, these are all my Rephr eye brushes, and except for the 21, I use them all the time, so they're super dirty. They need to be cleaned. My other favorite eye brushes are my Spectrum brushes. I love Spectrum brushes, honestly. This came from a set. I'm not sure what the set was. I can tell all of these like have glitter, and like I know I've used these a ton, so I need to swap those out. This is a highlighting brush. It shouldn't even be in here. I have a bunch of Suzanne Johnson. I think I'll go for those ones next. It appears I only have 3 in here right now, and all of these are dirty, like really dirty. I'm going to declutter the tapered blending brush from Sigma. To be honest, this is a little bit stiff for me, and it always makes my shadow skip, so I'm gonna move it along. Every one of these is like really dirty. I know I've used the crap out of all of these, so bye. Okay, this next set of brushes is like my overflow of eye brushes. I think I'm screwed here. I think I don't have like enough, pulled too many in rotation. I just haven't washed them enough. I'm actually going to pass some of these along. This one I bought off of Amazon. It's the silicone tipped brush for applying shimmers. I've given this like a fair shot. I bought 3 of them. And I just prefer a brush like this, just wet. So I'm gonna pass that along. But I need to find my blending brushes or just eye brushes in general for this. This is a concealer brush, so is this. I'm gonna pass the ColourPop E14. I think this is like an eye pencil brush. I just have too many. I'm also gonna pass the ColourPop E13 brush along. This is kind of like a packer brush, but it's just not a good enough style for me to blend once I've packed, which is something that I like to do, and I have other favorites, so not gonna keep that one. I think I'll try and pull this one in as a packer brush. It's the Real Techniques, 300, I almost said 100. It's the Deluxe Crease Brush. Okay, well, it's not really a crease brush for me. All of these are packer type brushes for me in the outer corner, so I'm gonna move these over here. These are sort of blending brushes. I've got a crease brush from Rude Cosmetics and then one LBE2 from Lunar Beauty. And I am going to pass these two along. These, I don't know what they're from. I think I got these in a BoxyCharm like a really long time ago, and they came from a set. I don't like super pointed ones like this. Like if I'm going under the under eye, I would prefer something a lot softer and more rounded than pointed, so I won't use that. I think same with this one from Rude Cosmetics, the pencil brush, it's not a style I use. Oh, they're Lavish. That's the brand, is Lavish. So bye, Lavish. I'm also gonna get rid of the ColourPop E26. I don't find myself reaching for ColourPop brushes very much. I still have a set here from BH Cosmetics, the Smoke, and this one is Smudge. I do like both of those. And a lot of these, generally pretty good quality and come from sets. So did the ColourPop one. I don't find them the best quality that I've ever used. I think that's good. I'm gonna put these back. I think this is good for my everyday eye brushes. We'll see. There's so many more over here that I use for filming that I'm not gonna be able to wash all of them, but let's go through these ones. These three I use for highlighter, but I never use this style anymore. The Real Techniques 404, it's like a fan brush for highlighting. Like I always find myself using these two. I have to keep one out. So I'm gonna keep this one out. This one needs to be cleaned. You know, if there was ever a fan brush, it's honestly the Real Techniques is the best one I've ever tried. So I think I'm gonna wash it, but keep it. Okay, every one of these needs to be cleaned. So that means I need to pull in more flat shimmer brushes. Okay, I'm getting slim on brushes. I'm going to put these near my everyday makeup drawer. Okay, I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful with these because I don't have any eye brushes to replace them with for filming. Let's do it. Okay, these ones I just picked up from Clarity Cosmetics. I don't even think I've used them yet. They're like white with like black tips. I may have used them with like one pink shadow, maybe with one of their palettes, but I think they're still good, so I'm gonna keep these out. And then I think you always need one of these, so. Here's another silicone brush I don't need, so Declutter. I think these are all of the brushes I would consider packer brushes, and they're all dirty. Here's two that I would consider packer brushes, and I think I'll keep these. Okay, I think these are all like my blending brushes, and I do think that these are probably all still clean enough to keep. Some more blending brushes that need to be washed. All of these little precision ones need to be cleaned. Two more packer type brushes, and I like both of these, so they need to be washed. I think these four here are like lower lash line, except this one, same thing. I told you guys, I just don't like this point, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. This is a highlighting brush, and since this is the only clean one I have left, I'm gonna keep it out. This is a concealer brush that's dirty, so let's wash that. Like getting glitter everywhere. These two are shader brushes, and both of them are dirty. And I think both of these two blending brushes are fine. I'm gonna keep them. I pulled in some more like lower lash line brushes to replace the dirty ones. This is all I have left for a shimmer brush, so that gets to stay. Highlighter, I think I'm gonna move to a different container, and here is a new concealer brush to replace the dirty one. Okay, I think I meshed all of these together, but really they started out to be like my base products, like concealer, foundation. This one from Rare Beauty for foundation I think is still fine. And this is a concealer brush from Mentos. Concealer buffing brush, let's wash it. This one from Reffer is also a concealer brush, but I've only used it twice with the same concealer, so I'm gonna keep it out. The small tapered brush from e.l.f. is like good for, I think, like powder under the under eyes. I don't use it that often, but I like to have like one this size. It needs to be washed, I guess. And here's another concealer one, the BK Angie Hot and Flashy, that needs to be washed. This one's very similar to the e.l.f. one. I'm kind of wondering, like, do I need both of these? I mean, I'll wash this. I guess I'll keep this now. And I'm gonna move all of these foundation, concealer, highlighter in here. This is one of my favorite blush brushes, but it's totally unmarked. I'm sure I got it on Amazon. It's just great for really spreading it like pretty evenly. I'm gonna keep this one out. Powder blush brush from Eco Tools. It's just called the Plush Powder, but I use it for blush. I'll keep that one out. This is a new set, and I don't even know where I got these. It's called Jasmine Beauty. I would probably use this for like bronzer, so I think it's still good. The rest of these I can tell are dirty, but I want to hold on to all of them. So I would say all of these are what I consider blush and bronzer brushes, or they really should be, but I outgrow this so frequently because I use so many of those products. The only one I'm not liking is the soft angled contour brush from Sigma. I think I want to give it a little bit more shot. It's just, I don't know why I didn't love this set from Sigma. I like this BH Cosmetics set. I use these for all sorts of things. This is the 2 and the 3, but they need to be washed. The Soft Pinch Blush Brush is filthy from Rare Beauty. Gotta wash that. I told you guys this was my favorite blush brush from IT Cosmetics, the number 227. Like, I can tell all of these ones are really dirty. This is a Sigma powder blush brush. I don't even think I've used it yet. This is one of my favorite blush brushes from e.l.f., the angled blush. I have 2 of them. And then I have one of the Jasmine Beauty ones, also keeping for blush. This is a Rare Beauty powder brush, but again, I don't have a use really for this. This is more like under the eyes. Anytime it has this kind of like point on it, I wouldn't use it for blush personally. I just don't like the way that feels. I'll use it a couple more times and see how I feel about it. So this one right here is all foundation, powder, concealer. I even threw a highlighter in there, but I need, I think, a couple more foundation brushes for that. Oh no, I found one of my other favorite highlighter brushes, the 402 from Real Techniques. I'll swap it out. I'm gonna put these 3 foundation brushes in there. I have the e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush, and then I have the Reffer B02 that just came out, which was like from the concept store. I don't know if they've like fully released these yet, but I love that. I've used it once. And then one of my favorite foundation brushes from IT Cosmetics, the Airbrush Blurring Foundation 101, which I showed you guys I have another one of. I use these like all the time. They're great for everything. And then I think that's good for both foundation, concealer brushes. Yeah, I feel like I need a couple more bronzer ones in here. I'm gonna pull these 2 in. These are Morphe brushes, and I love these for both bronzer and blush. Usually Morphe brushes I'm not a big fan of, but this style, I wanna say I have like 3 of these total, and I really like them. I would get a ton more. These also probably came from a set because they're totally unmarked, and I think that's good for this. I hate this putty bronzer brush from e.l.f. by. Here's another under eye powder one. It's the Ranamore tapered face brush. I'm gonna let it go too. I don't use brushes like that. We already had that conversation about that style. Also gonna get rid of the BH Cosmetics 5. It's stippled, it's just weird. It's not big enough. I don't like that for anything. 2 Sephora brushes. These are the angled foundation brushes, which are good for foundation, but I also like them for cream and liquid blushes. I think they do a good job. So I'm holding on to those. The Merit No. 1 foundation brush. I love it. The Tarte, this is a foundation brush for me. I want to say this either came with like the contour wand that came out or the foundation. I picked this up at one point when one of those releases came out, the Maracuja Juicy Glow foundation. I like it for foundation, but it's a little stiff for anything else, but I'm still gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna let this one go, the Mentos powder brush. I don't use powder brushes like this often, and if I did, I would rather grab the Sonia Kashuk one. This one I'm gonna try and use as like a blush slash bronzer brush. If I don't end up liking it, I will get rid of it. Ooh, this one I'm gonna declutter. I didn't find a love for this. I just don't love pointed brushes like this. This is an LYS brush. I think it came with, you know what, I take that back. I'm gonna wait until my stick comes. I just picked up the new bronzer stick in the cool shade that just released. I wanna see if this works well with that, because I've never used it with a cream bronzer stick before, which you would normally just draw on your face. I wanna see if it works with that one. So I'm gonna keep it for now. Foundation brushes. I love all of these for foundation. I do not recommend the Sephora 93 brush. It's honestly like kind of hard, but it's good for angled blush brush. Also the Eco Tools angled powder I love for blush. I love the Sonia Kashuk contour one for either contouring, well, mostly bronzing. This is actually a really good one for bronzer. This is also a good one for bronzer. It's the Sculpting Cheek brush. I think it fits a little bit better for bronzing, but you can use it for blush also. I keep stuff like this, the Real Techniques 241, as like a backup or like liquid and cream blushes. But if this doesn't perform the next time I use it, I'm gonna get rid of it because it's not my typical style. I love this one for foundation, buffing foundation from e.l.f. This one is Bestaupe. It came from a set on Amazon. I want to say this is like one of the few brushes that I held onto from this whole collection. Last time I did a brush declutter, I held onto this one only. I like it because it's so immensely flat. It's actually good for a cheek product, like a cream and liquid blush. Same thing with this one from Eco Tools. The Complexion Buffer. I think this is like the only ColourPop face brush I held on to. It's the F30. I like it for powder blush. And then finally, the Flawless Face Brush from e.l.f. I could see myself using this for like a powdered bronzer. So these will be all my backup brushes. I literally have no backup eye brushes anymore, but I have these as backup face brushes because I keep brushes in my room in 2 different spots. I think this is good, but we need to put these away now. Okay, you guys, here is the final result. I flipped everything around. It feels so good. In that little dreary corner, there was like no natural light that was being picked up and the echo from the walls was awful. So here's my new setup. I've cleaned and refreshed, I guess, all of my brushes. I still have to wash the table cover for that. It might be like several weeks before it gets back on. Who knows, knowing me. Now I get so much more natural light that actually hits me where I'm filming because this window here, even with the blinds open, it wasn't like getting that back corner. For whatever reason, like this side just makes me so much happier. I have refreshed the brushes in here. These are the brushes that I use every day. I washed this thing, which is like my version of a switch that I got on Amazon. This little cubby here is dedicated to the top 4, I guess, 2 and little ones to my everyday makeup, and then the bottom 2 are my project pan. These are the items that I'm testing. I got to wipe everything down. This little guy is the start of my cream blushes because I'm going to do a cream blush ranking video I think pretty soon. That's just, the undertaking there is crazy because I'm going to do a try on of all of them. Here are some palettes that I'm still working on, but I have videos ranking them. Those palettes in the back are new to me. I haven't tested them yet. And here's a few more that I have not tested. I'm just really into testing indie brand shadows at the current moment. And that's what I'm working with over there. That's what you guys will see in the background as I'm filming. And here are all my brushes and sponges that need to be cleaned. That's a nightmare. I can actually usually do these pretty quickly. It just takes several days for them to dry because I let them dry like under 2 towels. So that is for a future day. Well, welcome to my backdrop again. If you guys are returning viewers and you guys remember seeing this, I think the angle right now, like the shot is really wide. So I think I'll do something to like decrease the shot so you don't see every single thing going on back there. You can even like see the pictures of me and my husband, you know, back in the day. My kids, those are a little bit older too. Anyway, I'm actually really shocked that this only took a couple of hours to do. I thought, even with moving the camera, it was gonna take a lot longer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, whatever you're doing and wherever you are. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe, see you stick around, and so I can catch y'all in my next video. Bye guys.